Please like, comment, and subscribe. Hi, I'm Kim,
And I'm Torra.
and this is our podcast, Kicking It with Kimm and Torra.
Glad to be back.
Yes, it's been a long time. We haven't done a podcast in a few months, but it's a new year and a
That's
new
right.
us, and we're so excited to be here with you.
Absolutely.
Today, we're going to talk about initially something that brings us sadness, which is the death of Cheslie Kryst.
Yes.
Torra, can you speak on it? She wasn't really on my radar, but I had just watched a TikTok video of her and was admiring her so greatly. And then the next day, you told me she had committed suicide.
Well, she definitely walked a mile in your shoes. She was a lawyer and she also was in the entertainment business and she had a YouTube channel just like you. So when I heard even more about her, I always thought of you. I always thought of you because you literally birthed this child a million miles away with everything who you are, beautiful sister, intelligent, and everything. I just saw her. I saw her in you and you in her. So back in 2019, she was one of the four beautiful women to win. You know, she was Miss USA, and there was Miss Universe, and there was Miss America, and there was Miss Teen pageant, and they were all Black women. They were all sisters, and they were all intelligent and beautiful, and she was one of them. So she caught my eye back in 2019, and it was crazy because I didn't even realize that I even had come across her mother because I was trying to get my niece into pageants who live in North Carolina, and her mom was the second Miss North Carolina who happened to be a Black woman. And so I actually had like double this family in my path until this present moment. So it kind of hit me kind of hard when I found out that she potentially could have committed suicide. And I say potentially because they're still investigating, but they're saying it looks like a suicide. And the further I looked into it, I found out that she was having what it sounded like a midlife crisis, which I feel like I'm going through because I'm about to turn 50, but she was 30. And I'm thinking, why are these young kids having so much pressure, feeling like they should have been more accomplished and they should have had more going on in the world and have contributed more to the world? And I'm like, no, you don't get to have that at your young age. You're still supposed to be daredevils. You're still supposed to be doing crazy things. Like in my brain, she's a kid to me. You can say 30, no, that's all.
In my brain, she was so accomplished. I
Yes.
have watched that video. She talked about having been an attorney.
Yep.
And being a correspondent for Extra, interviewing Alicia Keys, and she named some people.
Denzel.
And then, she had been Miss USA. Now, obviously, I didn't want to be a pageant queen, but when I saw that video, I said to my daughter, I wish I had turned my career in a direction like that. So I was admiring her. And then to hear she committed suicide, and then because she didn't feel that, what did she say? She was running out of time to matter to society.
That's what I think. Yeah.
Can't imagine. She had done so much.
Yeah. I think that at 50, and it frightens me, it scares me, it upsets me. I mean, they say it's called a midlife crisis, but when I hear that she is thinking the same way I'm thinking and we're 20 years apart, how is that possible? Is it social media?
I don't really, it may be their celebrity culture, but to me, she had made herself into a celebrity.
Yeah, but how does she not know? Like, do you think that social media shows you Rihanna life, shows you Beyonce life? And I say this because they're Black women. I could say any woman, but I'm giving my credit to my sisters right now. They show you the life of these really accomplished celebrity Black women. And is it making girls feel lesser? Because we've talked about body consciousness and everything on our show, because I deal with that in my very own family with my daughters. And I'm always like, you don't need, surgery.
But I mean, she was on TV. She had a huge following on social media. She was gorgeous. She was a pageant queen. Now, Beyonce competed, but honey, she won.
She won.
Cheslie Kryst won. So the video I saw, she was giving a tour of her closet / office. showing
Immaculate
her
closet.
clothing, and I felt that she was successul, but there was something in her that didn't feel that way, and I
And
don't
that's
know
what
why.
we have to talk about, because we got to understand. I believe, and I posted on my TikTok that she said, into the 3 people who told me to go kill myself. She
Oh, I
said
saw
this.
that.
Yeah, that hurt me, because people don't realize what you say does affect people. I mean, I personally don't own that gene. For some reason, you can say whatever you want to me. It is because I don't look at me. I look at the other person and see and think that you're in a real messed up place if you fix your mouth to say that to anybody. You
That's
gotta
what
be
we're
in a messed up
supposed to
place.
do.
Right.
It would bother me too. I don't get a lot of hate
Mhm,
on my channels yet, but if
mhm,
I'm able to grow them, I mean,
mhm,
that's a part of it.
mhm.
So, I mean, I guess that would have affected her. I'm at a loss. And I'm also questioning, like you, is it suicide? Is it
Yeah,
really
yeah,
suicide?
yeah. That,
Because
and I wouldn't be surprised if it wasn't. I would not, because I just think that she had so much to live for. And she did talk about mental illness, and she talks about how she used to take time every morning to meditate.
really,
Every time, yeah, every day she took time to meditate, because she said she had to turn off her phone. She decompressed. She does everything for her mental health. And so my thing is this: when I hear that people have the tools.
yeah, suicide doesn't match. And then she was a mental health advocate.
Mhm,
So if you're advocating for others, you are
mhm,
even more aware of the
mhm.
kinds of things you would need to do for yourself. It's not
Absolutely.
adding up. It's not
And
adding up.
and I bring this full circle, because mental health and suicide is definitely something that I'm passionate about, because I understand depression, and I understand when you're at your lowest point. If you don't have voices that talk to you in a positive way, and your own voices, to
Right.
tell you it's a tomorrow, give it one more day, give it another day, tomorrow will be better. And if tomorrow isn't better, then it's a different day. It's not the same. If you don't have those voices, then when you're at your lowest point, I don't know how you can not think of others, because I can think of my children and my
Me too.
family, and
Mhm,
I don't want them to think less of me if I'm not here. Like, how could she be
mhm.
so selfish? And, you know,
Or
don't
how
you
will
care that
they
I miss you
ever
or hurt?
recover? I
How
think
will they
if
ever
I
recover?
did that, how would my children ever recover from the fact that their mother took her life while they were
Exactly.
alive? And I
Yep.
mean, I just think it would destroy them. So I would never do that.
And
So I'm putting it out there. I
yeah,
would never
yeah,
do
we all
that.
said that. I think that should be just a known fact, that we're putting it out there, that if it happens to be said about me, it wasn't me. I did
Mhm.
not off myself, unalive myself. That is never an option. My children need the tools to know that their mother could get through whatever tough time she was getting through, and so on and so forth.
And
So that's
she
my
had
thing.
all the contacts, being a mental health advocate.
Yeah.
I mean, she knew therapists, she was in touch with organizations, she had
Good
all the
friends. She had
information
really
at her
good friends.
disposal.
Really good friends. She was friends with the other, I think, Miss Universe and Miss America. I mean, she was friends with them. Like, I've seen them on her, loving on her and hugging on her and laughing with her. So I know, at her house, the house that she does her TikToks and her social media on. So I know that she had good girlfriends that pick up the phone. Look, I'm feeling some kind of way. Get here. Let's go have a drink, whatever. And I know I have girlfriends like that. Like, I know you or someone, I have no doubt if
I'll
I
be there
call.
in 5 minutes, girl, and there I
Yeah.
live farther than 5 minutes away, but I'd
So
be there.
and vice versa,
Yeah,
so I
absolutely.
would I would be left empty to find out who doesn't know Tora doesn't sleep. You can call me anytime, day or night. Like, people get posts from me all night long from social media. Oh, look at this.
Oh
And they
yeah,
like,
we'll be texting at 2:30 in the morning. Like I'm thinking, she's crazy like me. Here we are, girl. What you doing? But I remember, like, I don't watch pageants. I don't
Mhm,
watch TV and extra and all
mhm.
that. So I didn't know her personally, but I do recall that there were the four. It was a big deal.
It was a big
Everybody was
deal.
talking about it. So I didn't know who the four people were, but I knew she was one of them. But as you're talking, I'm thinking, when you're in pageant life, when you're a model, any
Mhm.
of that, so much of everything is focused on external. I don't know. To me, I thought she checked all the boxes. I can't
She
even
checked them all.
imagine her feeling like she wasn't doing
Body
well.
was snatched. I
Totally.
mean, her body was.
Oh, but you know, she said she was getting trolls telling her body was too muscular and that she wasn't attractive enough to be Miss USA.
Says Oompa Loompa who's home on the couch.
She was gorgeous. That
Like,
said the
come on.
hater. Right.
Like, are you kidding me? Just say you wish you looked like that.
Right.
Like, come on.
So, you know, the question is, well, let's say if it were a suicide, then we have Regina King's son, Ian
Yes.
Alexander Jr.,
Yes.
who recently committed suicide. And
Yes.
what is going on with our youth and what was going on with him? Because this is almost back to back. Wasn't it like within a 2-week period?
Yes, and there was also, I forget the senator's name whose son committed suicide right before all of this.
A white or black senator?
He's a Caucasian senator.
Okay.
What is his name? He says, and he left a note. He left a note saying that that my depression won today. And they knew he had suffered.
Representative Jamie Raskin.
Yeah, that's who it is.
And his son left a note saying his depression won that day.
Yep, that's who it was. Yep, Jamie Raskin. I'm sorry, he's a representative.
And his son was 25.
His son was 25.
And Regina King's son was 26.
And this beautiful queen was 30. So I don't know about you, but when we were growing up, I heard no one committed suicide. There was never a rumor of friends. There were people who died.
One person.
Not one of mine.
In my neighborhood. In my neighborhood.
I mean, we had guys who might have been gay and had done some things, and people had videotapes out. Them guys still strutted down that hallway in school, head held high, like, so what, y'all want to look? And we had girls who might have done some things, videotapes, they walked down the hallways.
We had girls and guys like that, but there was one guy who was found hanging from a tree in the woods, not too far from our neighborhood. I had dated him, like play dated, like we weren't even intimate, none of that. They said he killed himself because his uncle died, but I don't know. I mean, I always question that. What black person is hanging himself? When does that happen?
Like,
and this is like back in the.
And we were brought up with, if you kill yourself, there is no afterlife for you. So
it's the ultimate sin.
It's the ultimate sin. That's what we were brought up under. So
yeah.
As time go on, I think social media might have it program people to believe that, that's not true or whatever, because I know that was enough fear in our Black community that you were just like, all right.
People were like, you can come back from anything, but if you
come back from anything,
suicide, that's the one sin that will never be forgiven.
Purgatory, do not collect $200, go straight to purgatory. Yeah, it was definitely that way. So I don't understand. Maybe it's because, how about that? Maybe it is lack of religion in this world right now, because you and I both see it. We both see that religion isn't like it was embedded in us when we were younger. Like, we grew up practicing being a Methodist, being a Baptist, being a Muslim, the whole nine, Scientology, everything. We grew up with it all, and it was always a purpose. Like, I feel like this young group, as you can hear these people we're naming, they aren't growing up with religion.
But think about this. Regina King's son was the son of she's one of the top Black actresses. You're talking about
producer. She's a writer, producer. She's doing it big now.
Everything, all the best shows, all of that.
Yes.
And then you have you say he wasn't a senator, a congressman's son?
No, he was a representative. I'm sorry. He was from the House.
So a congressman's son.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have
25.
And then you have this highly accomplished to us woman. All of these people are not what we would consider like everyday folk. You know what I'm saying? So
the ordinary.
Is there something there? Is there something like I imagine that it's very difficult to have a very famous parent and feel like or a very accomplished parent and feel like I'm going to measure up. I don't know, like I had mentioned before the broadcast with Regina King's son, I wondered if she had outed him
Mhm,
because I saw a video where they had done New Year's Eve together and she
mhm.
said it was her son and her bonus son. And
And not
so
meaning from another relationship,
I looked
like,
it up because I didn't know what it meant. I was like, what,
because
trying to
usually
figure
people
out.
use that when they're dating someone and that person has a child, but
Right,
that was
right.
his.
But she said something about her bonus son who had been in their lives for a long time. And I
Mhm,
looked it up. And
mhm.
then they said her son mentions him as family too, but there had never been any clarification of how. I mean, that's just pure conjecture on my part. But
Mhm.
if it's something he was struggling with and it finally inadvertently became public, maybe not though. I just,
No, because there was a part of me that felt like that in the beginning. I had a string of, could he have been, but his mother would have been so accepting of him being gay. But if he's worried about the
the
world,
world. She said
that's a
it on
different
New
thing.
Year's Eve. She was on a New Year's Eve special
Mhm,
and she said it there. And I wondered if it was too much.
mhm,
But I mean, I'm sure she wouldn't have said it unless
mhm.
he approved or
No,
she
no,
thought
you're right.
he would approve, unless
You're
she
right.
thought it was okay. I don't know them, but I can't, they say they were so close, so tight. I
They
can't imagine
were.
she without him,
No.
without his approval.
Exactly, or trying to show him that she's proud of him, or she's, letting you know, like, hey, dude, you on my team, whatever team you rock with, I'm because my thing is this, I feel like, would you rather your child be dead
Right,
or
exactly.
alive?
Right.
Because those are the two choices. If they're miserable thinking they're gonna let you down and the world down, then they're gonna do that. But if they feel like you're accepting and you're telling them, we're gonna rock this together. I don't care what they say. You and I is all that matters. Then that's a difference. But if they feel that they might embarrass you or they gonna let you down, it's like the struggles that, like, you don't get judged in my house.
I
That
mean, I hope you don't. I'm pretty sure you get judged
yeah.
when you were coming up because I've evolved.
Hmm.
So now I'm not trying to judge anybody,
Yeah,
let
no, I
alone
don't judge
myself.
my
But I
right.
think a younger girl, don't do that. Boy, but
Mhm.
not like that. I would always
Yeah.
say, no matter what, you can let me know.
You can come to
I'm gonna
me with
support you.
anything.
I'm going to support you. I would even say, if you are gay, I'm okay with it. I think it
And
makes life
and
harder.
I better not find out nobody got a problem with it. Because if you minds, and when I say minds, I'm talking about any child that comes in my life. If you minds, we got the problem. You ain't got it alone, because my thing is this, that right there has nothing to do with none of us. If you're a good person, and I get it. I just recently heard someone say something about why a straight guy doesn't like gay guys or uncomfortable with gay guys, because this straight guy was sexually assaulted. So he
Oh, well, that's
associates
different.
sex and sexuality amongst, homo means of the
That's
same.
different.
So
That's different.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah, he's connecting that. So I got it. I got it.
Mhm.
Okay, you don't really have a problem. You're just not comfortable with that life because of what it does to you and what it did to you. I get that. But what I'm saying is that's them. You don't have to make that part of
Make any
your life.
comment. Do you
Yeah.
think it's COVID? Actually, now that we're talking, I'm
I've
thinking
had even COVID. I've even thought that. I
it's COVID,
literally did that.
and not the disease or whatever it
No,
is,
the
the
whole thing
infectious,
was
but the
transmitted.
whole isolation, the separateness, lack of
And
connection.
only thing you have is this idiot box of social media being pumped into you, and you don't have enough positive and negative mix to get through it. Yeah, I do
And
believe that.
enough contact. Like even for me, I've just started saying, okay, I gotta start going out. I gotta start having drinks. I've got to
Yep.
start having lunch because for a few months I just have hibernated, which is fine. You
Oh yeah.
you grow. I've done some good stuff
And
here.
you had to
But
do it.
yeah,
You had to do
yes,
it. You
yes.
couldn't be out and about like we could, because I remember what I had to tell you.
Okay, but I think that, that is affecting people, whereas we
Mhm.
normally are in groups physically. People are
Mhm.
having Zoom parties, which I hate, but they're
Mhm.
doing all that, but it's not the same. is not the same as being in somebody's presence. It's having your electromagnetic field connect with theirs and getting
It's
that
a
human
soul tied world.
support.
And once you cut
Yeah,
off the soul ties, you really don't know if you're free falling. And I understand it. I get
maybe
it.
it's that. I mean, but it's
I thought about
inexplicable.
that.
It's
No,
inexplicable to me. Like, why are children, so many children would chop off their arm to be Regina King's daughter or son, or a congressman's daughter or son, or an extra, it seems so glamorous to me, an extra
we would have fought
correspondent
her
for
tooth and
Miss
nail for that.
USA.
We would have fought her tooth and nail for that lifestyle.
Right. So to be in those kind of rare positions and then to do that, it leaves me, it just, I'm flabbergasted.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, and I'm sad. I'm sad for us, for her.
So sad. I'm so sad. And I'm so sad because for somebody, you always hear that suicide leaves you with no answers because it's happened way more. Like, I don't know if you know it or not, but Tina Turner's son had committed suicide also. The
Like, how
singer
long
Tina
ago?
Turner.
I didn't know that, but how
Yeah,
long ago?
that was a while back. But think about it. You're Tina Turner's son. Your life wasn't that great. Are you kidding me, dude?
And they
Like,
couldn't get you help. They couldn't
your mom
identify
is
what you're
worth
going
almost
through.
billions of dollars. Like, her name is good for billions. Like, she could call the prince up of Dubai and say, "Get
Did
my son."
Patti LaBelle's son do that too?
I thought it was Patti LaBelle's son. I thought it was her son too. I don't know. When I was saying Tina Turner, I was thinking, well, I think Patti LaBelle's son, but maybe I got it somebody else's son, but I know it was Tina Turner's.
Okay.
But I don't know. For some reason, Patti LaBelle's son popped in my head too. That's weird. You and I both thought of that at the
She
same
did
time.
have a son that was an adopted son that was a lawyer.
Yeah.
Because he interviewed at one of the firms I
That
used
was
to
her
work
sister.
for.
That was her sister's son. She adopted him. Yep.
He interviewed at a firm that I used to work for on Pennsylvania Avenue. Yeah, this says, no, none of this says anything about that. So it must be Tina
That's
Turner.
crazy. That's so crazy that me and you both. Let's pray that that was no.
No.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Let's just pray that was no energy, because I don't know why, but at the same moment you said that, I was thinking, man, why am I thinking?
I'm sending him love and light, their whole family.
Love and light. That's right.
It's my intention that everything go for the greatest and highest good. No question.
That's right. That's right.
No question. Well, I mean, I don't know what the answer to this is, but we need to be thinking about that as a society and as an ethnic group, how we can protect because they're youth. I'm in my 50s already. They're our youth.
Yeah.
She's a bright star,
And we lost some good youth. Those are
Mhm.
good youth that could have easily been president one day, easily.
He Regina King's son could have followed her footsteps, been a producer, produced some fabulous stuff that
Could have
changed
been an actor in some of her movies she's producing, like I just don't. And that was bringing me when I said I had something to tell you, because you remember how adamant I was about getting a booster, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
I went to the doctors. I can tell you the exact date. It was December 18th, because we were going to New York on the 19th. My doctor was like, well, here, I'm going to give you the booster and the flu shot. Without even thinking, boom, I'm getting the flu shot and the booster shot the next day.
You got it? Because you were telling me you weren't getting that.
The next day, your girl was so sick, I thought I was going to die. Literally, as it wasn't for Antoine being so mean to me, I probably would have died. But he was just like, get up off the couch. Why are you laying around? Why are you sleeping? I don't know. Literally, we go to New York, and when I'm there, I'm just hurting. Like, I'm feverish and everything. I was like, I should get a COVID shot, a COVID test. So the next day he gets sick. And then the next day my brother he didn't get the booster.
They get sick.
They got sick. It went through our whole family. Literally, I tested positive, my brother tested positive, my Antoine tested positive, the kids tested, his wife, everybody tested positive. Now
all vaccinated though, right?
Everybody 2 shots vaccinated. I'm the only one that has a booster. Only one. All my daughters and everything, they had it too. They got it, got it, and they were sick too. Everybody got whatever strand was in New York, we all got it. So my thing was, it hit me with a depression. And that's what I had to tell you about.
Oh, wow.
It hit me with, it is the weirdest thing, but I Googled it and I found I'm not the only one. That is a lot of people who get whatever strand is out right now, whether it's Omicron or Delta,
Oh,
or
that one? Okay. And
they,
they get
they didn't tell
depressed?
me which one it was. They just called it SARS, SAR, SARS.
I thought they couldn't tell you. I thought they couldn't
That's what my
determine the
test said.
variant.
My test just said I had the SARS version, whatever the SARS version was of.
I think it's a SARS virus. I think
Okay.
that's what it is.
Well, that's what my test showed me and said that, and that's what Antoine test showed him and my brothers. They all said that they had that one, or that's what we had, or whatever. But my brother said his wife just got better. You know, it's like, what is it, February 1st?
Mm-hmm.
She just felt better yesterday. She felt like she's
From
getting
December?
better since December 19th.
Wow.
So yesterday, she and I thought, like, what? But my niece even said it. My niece was like, yeah.
No, there's a paralegal that works with me out of North Carolina.
Mhm.
And
That's where they live.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's right. And she said that she's had it, and just yesterday or today, she told me it's been 17 days, no taste.
That's
17 days.
I don't have a smell anymore. Like, my smell messed up my taste. I was salting the food because I thought I wasn't tasting anything. So I was thinking I wasn't seasoning it. And then Antoine was just like, babe, can you lay a little low on the salt? And I'm like, what are you talking about? He was like, this is so salty. I was like, it has no salt. And that's when it hit me. I don't have taste. And then he's like, you don't have smell either.
Yeah, because smell is an integral part of taste.
He said, you don't have smell either. He said, trust me when I tell you, you don't have. I said, what? He said, I've been doing some things. And I'm like, she don't smell that? I was like, what?
Antoine over there cutting up.
I said, what? And that's when I realized I didn't even know I had lost my taste and smell. I didn't even know it. It wasn't until he told me my food was too salty, and that I guess he was passing gas and I wasn't complaining. And he was just like, well, I guess she lost her smell. But I literally, I still haven't got my smell back.
You know what? I have a really dear friend who, like we had some kind of connection. I didn't come around as much as I should have, but every time I saw her, like, her great positive feeling for me just enveloped me. I'm not kidding. And another friend said she just admired you so much, always, always. And I felt it every time I was around her. She just passed away, like about a few weeks after getting the booster. She just turned like 50 or 51 years old.
Don't say that to me. Are you for real?
Well, I mean, Torra, that's why I almost
No, because my brother has that same story.
Really?
Yes, he has the story of one of his neighbors got the booster, passed away, and one of his neighbors was like, I'm not getting it. Nobody put nothing in my arm. He got COVID and died. So he was like, where do you go? And when you hear
with the booster and without the booster.
Yep. Both of them
My
were
friend said she was sick with COVID. She was supposed to get the booster, but she couldn't get it because she had COVID. And then when she got through COVID, she got the booster. But she also said that this friend had a heart attack previously. Isn't it contraindicated if you have heart problems?
Yeah,
but then I thought about you, and I was like,
oh, my heart was
blowing my mind. I can't even take it.
I called my doctor immediately. She's like, well, what's going on? I said, no, my heart is fluttering and I have a really high fever and I tested positive. She was like, what? She's like, okay, well, I need you to quarantine. And I was like, well, I'm in New York. And she was like, well, I'm gonna need you to quarantine. And I was like, I was afraid to quarantine because everything I heard about this
because variant, of your heart, and you'd be alone.
Yes, I was afraid. I was like, okay, I'm gonna mask up and I'm a Sarah Palin it then, because I was afraid because.
Well, I mean, on the positive now, all of your whole family has immunity, natural immunity, in addition to the shot. So everybody's still alive, you know what I mean? Okay, so let's talk about these goals. I found that to be really intriguing, and I wanted to make sure we talked about it before we run out of time. At 50, going into 50, let's say, I'm in my 50s, but you're going into 50, midlife crisis, we've heard of it before. I think it's normal. The question I have for you, why isn't the fact that you raised 3 kids successfully enough to make you at least feel like, if I haven't done anything else, I've accomplished something great, and now it's time for my next chapter?
Good question, because that was the argument I had with my family, because I feel like in my brain, I think I did that for y'all. Like, I had these children. You're turning out to be very good, very blessed children. But that's
Phenomenal.
for y'all. And it's like, I don't have anything for myself. Like, where's my degree? Where is my accomplishments that I did for me? Like, what is my legacy that, if you read that somebody went to this school, or this got this award for this, or they, created that or invented this. Like, I don't feel like I have that for me. Like, it's so many things I want to still do. Like, I still want to do comedy. And it's crazy because I know you heard
now's the time. They're gone. Right. You can do what you want. This is the time to do it.
And I don't know if you know the vegan Tabitha. She's like blown up.
Oh yes, I do.
First post this morning. As soon as I wake up, she's posted. She goes, I'm talking to you. And she says, you know how to get started. Get up. You know what to do. Why are you still laying there? Get up. You know what to do. You know what you want to do in life. And I'm just like, I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. Because it was literally everything I had just said the night before to Antoine. I just said it. I was like, I don't feel accomplished. I mean, I know what to do and I know how to do it, but it's just like, I feel like I can't. I don't know. I was
having a big say. What was his position for that?
He's like you. He's like, honey, you've been married 22 years. You're a great wife. You're an excellent mother. You've done so many things. And I'm like, nah, that's all for y'all. That ain't for me. I want mine. I want to say what I wanted to do. Like, I did all those things that I wanted to do. And I wanted to be a good mother, and I wanted to be a good wife, and I want to, be a good friend. But I feel like I want to create something for me. And I know that stepping out on faith is hard, because I feel like if I do it, then I might lose the kids, and I might lose my husband, and I might lose. That's what I think.
I don't think so. I think they will be so proud of you and supportive.
They say they will, but these...
And if they're not, then you keep doing it for you anyway.
Right. And that's the part where I want to start getting, like, I'm there. I'm just not getting to it, but I'm there. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm in a similar space. I'm in a similar space, not because of age, but because my son's about to graduate in a few months. My daughter is working and doing all their, in college and all that too. And it's time for me to pivot. Like, I'm pivoting. I'm keeping one practice area in the law, just one. All the rest of that, I'm turning down cases, and I don't have any money to be turning down cases. But if you don't,
that's your fate.
You're never going to have time. It's just that I'm never going to have time to do anything else if I just keep doing what I've always been doing. And so I know what to, like Tabitha said, I know what to do, how to do it, but it's just the, go ahead, girl.
That's what I'm talking. That's that word I can't describe. Whatever that is.
That thing that's got it. And normally it's coming out of everywhere. That's how I've written books and all kind of stuff. But for some reason, but it's going to come. I have faith, and I'm going to keep working, and we can encourage each other. Because I think you'd be great at comedy. I think you could get back into acting. I think you have so many talents. Yeah, we'll encourage each other step by step and make something happen.
Yes, those are my 50 goals and dreams. It's like, okay, Torra, look, if she felt like she ran out of time, Cheslie, at 30, and you're feeling like you ran out of time at 50, then something's got to give. Because clearly, if I had those 20 years to do it all over again, I mean, I probably wouldn't change a thing about me having, marriage and kids and all that, but I definitely would have taken some more time for myself.
That's what I was going to mention. Remember in that video, it said she was running out of time to matter to society. Right. Was that the lack of kids and a husband? Or was that because society loves that you're Miss USA? Society loves when you're a celebrity interviewer. So I don't know what that meant. I don't know.
And that's my thing, because Rihanna just showed her stomach today.
I saw it. Yep.
And
Yesterday with those big baggy jeans.
right.
Saw it,
And
yeah.
she's not, I don't think she's married unless she's just not saying
They
it.
never
but
mentioned it.
they never mentioned it. So my thing is this, if she thought she needed the traditional man, I don't even think her mother has that. Like, I think her mother just has the 3 kids, which is her and her 2 brothers. I've never seen any posts.
It could just be the kids. It could, I don't know. I mean, but I remember, see, I had my kids.
You're rich, you're well off. You can adopt, or you can get a sperm donor, or you can just lay up one night with a real cool football player and be like, look.
Right.
Yeah,
But
you know what I
had
mean?
your kids young, so you probably couldn't relate to that. But I had my kids in my mid-30s. And there did come a time when I was like, I never had some kids. I don't know what.
Well, I said that with my last, because I was 30. I was 30. And I said, with my last child, I said, I mean, Victoria's 19, she'll be 20 this year, and I'll be 50. And I literally said, if I'm going to pop one out, I need to put it in the oven right now.
But you already had 2. When I was having that conversation mentally, I had none.
I didn't know that.
So I had to have my son. And then 2 years later, I was like to my husband, if we're going to do it, we're going to do it now.
Yeah.
Let's go. And then we had
you
another.
Feel a sense of urgency then.
Before I had my son.
Yeah. I didn't feel a sense of urgency. I more so wanted to hurry up, because I didn't want to be that
45 with a kid. I know what you mean.
Like
Janet Jackson.
I see them doing all that, and Tyra Banks and all them, but I feel like if you have the money, then you have the age. I didn't have the money to hire the nanny, the chef, the cook, the au pair, or nanny. I didn't have, so I knew my biological clock, as far as that, had to hurry it up,
Mm-hmm. And by the time I was mid-30s and feeling like that, I already had my law degree. I had already been practicing law for some years. So it could have been that.
Wow.
But girl, the way that fine little sister looked, anybody would have been happy to go half on a baby with her.
I don't know one straight guy, black, white, Chinese, Indian, whatever you want to call yourself, would have had a problem putting a baby in that body. I don't know
about depression.
He's crying.
You know about depression and mental health is that you never see yourself the way others see you. If you could, true. So there's a disconnect.
No, I get it. I'm 100% there. That's why I used to be really mean about depression, and because I grew up in it, and I had a father that had severe depression from Vietnam, and so I used to be like, oh, these mood swings, this attitude, it was just too much. But
yeah, PTSD. Your dad probably had PTSD too.
And I feel like I had that with COVID. I feel like I had that with being Black. I feel like I had that with so many different things, and being in an accident in 2004. I feel like I had that too, but I still have the intelligence and the intellect, even at my worst, to just reel it back in. Okay.
You have a strong sense of self, though. I mean, I think your ability to have those trolls come on and say, and you're like, yeah, you think so? Everybody can't do that. You have a strong sense of self, and I think that helps you. But I mean, we just got to start having these conversations and making sure we're supporting our young adults who are doing fabulous to us.
And that's the part I feel like I failed at too. I feel like so many of these kids need our help, and we could help them. And I feel like, how do we reach them? How do we reach the Chesleys? How do we reach, the Regina King sons? How do we reach these people that they can pick up the phone, whatever, and just need to hear the right thing at the right time to get them through that moment?
Maybe we start having a little statement at the beginning or middle or end of our videos.
Yeah.
See, like for me, all the time I was raising my children, truthfully, I didn't have time to help anybody else's unless you were their friend or live right next door. I did not have time. I could barely swim, keep my head above water. But now I have time to think about what do our other children need and how I may be able to deliver some of that. So maybe that's something we think about.
And I feel like that's an urgency because there's so much on the internet that's giving so much misinformation. Like this guy, Black guy, I just heard him say today, and I probably liked it, so I can send it to you. He was like, I think that the youth need to have people within their parameter to, encourage them. Back in the day, everybody wanted you to talk to an old head that had already made it. And I'm like, dude, what are you talking about? That is still the golden rule of life. You always want to talk to somebody who's already done it, or people who are older, even if they haven't done it, because they can tell you what not to do.
If nothing more, they can tell you what not to do.
Exactly. And I just was so frustrated. But because I'm always getting blocked, I'm like, I don't even know how to communicate with people anymore to tell them, like, I believe you're giving misinformation. Like, don't ever tell the youth only, conjugate around or brainstorm with the people who are around you and of your youth and of your age.
If you want to get lost, I've had to tell my daughter that after her first or during her first year of college. I was like, girl, you guys are really smart and accomplished, but you don't have the years of experience. So if you're only relying on people around your age, there's so much that's going to be missed. Not because y'all are not.
Same conversations that go on in my house. Same one.
So like, this is what I'm going to say as we end this video. We appreciate, and I know Torra will emphasize how much we appreciate everyone watching and joining us. Absolutely. But when you're done, take 30 minutes off of social media, take an hour off, turn your phone off, put it down, walk away, begin to live in the real world. Yes. And don't focus so much on the virtual world, because that world is fake and it'll make you have false impressions about yourself and life. Turn it right after there. Our video, turn it off.
That's the key right there. You will start to have false impressions of yourself, which aren't true. They aren't true. So you should not, under any circumstance, let that feel like that's a part of your world. You should only leave it with them. That's
what you guys should learn from Cheslie Kryst is, no matter how good their life looks on social media, there could be so much darkness in the real world. So understand that that's not reality, or at least it's not the full reality.
It's not the full reality. That's right. What you see on the box is not the full reality. These people seem so blessed and accomplished to us, but at the end of the day, they could be going through things that you can't even imagine. So
that's right. And we don't know what she went through in those pageants. We don't know. But I am going to be watching to see, was it suicide? I mean, it kind of doesn't feel like it would have been, but I don't know. And I just pray for peace and comfort for all her friends and family. And next time we're going to have some upbeat topic, but it's important that we talk about the things that matter.
And this matters, and it matters a lot to me, because I'm 100% advocate of, depression, anxiety, panic attacks, you name it. I'm here. My information is on social media. My phone number's on social media. People call me all the time on Instagram, all the time. So when I tell you, anybody out there needs to talk to anyone, I'm always going to be here for you.
I'm here too. And even though I, have a little bachelor's degree in psychology, I'm not a psychologist, but my sorority line sister is a therapist. And I know a lot of people who are, I got a couple sorors who are counselors and therapists. We can get you some help. So reach out. We would be happy to share our resources with you. Thank you guys for watching. It's good to be back, and we look forward to you joining us for our next episode.
And please always like, subscribe, and pass this on to whoever you think need it. And we will see you next time.
See you next time. Bye-bye.